Stench doesn't feel good today. When Stench doesn't feel good, he gets grumpy. So maybe you should have come in today.
I would have beaten my wife maybe to death last night if I'd have felt just a little better. I felt too bad to get out of bed and just strangle her.
You know, he's kidding.
No, he's not.
No.
Well, beating and strangling, yes. He's kidding.
Oh, he's kidding about beating.
Yeah.
He'd probably strangle.
Well, yeah, maybe a little choke.
Right.
Yeah, but sometimes we enjoy that in the right circumstance. So is that, because I get more, I don't know, pitiful, like, I get more, like, I guess kind of childlike when I'm sick, if that makes sense.
right.
You know, like, I mean, when I'm really, really sick, not like just kind of sick, but if I'm really, really sick, I get more like, oh my God, please, somebody take care of me. And, you know, you want somebody to dote over you. But you get, like, which is really odd, angry.
Angry, like, I'll kill you.
Why?
Okay, it's like I want to be left alone. He's like, if you're going to take care of me, that's cool. Like, take care of me. But I don't want to be bothered. That's for damn sure. Like, I don't want any nonsense when I'm sick. And my wife was just full of it yesterday. Oh, my God. I'm like in bed. By the way, I went to bed after the show yesterday. It took me a little over an hour to get home in traffic. And about 11:30, I was in bed.
I know. Didn't traffic suck? Did you see the lady with the smashed windshield on Sepulveda?
No.
Poor thing. Anyway, I'll tell you in a minute.
I fell asleep, by the way, on the 101 yesterday.
Oh, now that's healthy.
I was sitting and traffic wasn't
No.
moving, and I nodded off, and I woke up, and like people are like, honk, honk.
Oh,
Oops.
anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So, and then I get home, and she ended up home, I don't know, by the time she showed up, let's say it's 5 o'clock with the baby, and I'm in bed, and she like comes in, what's wrong with you? Tell her, you know, I'm really sick, I'm just laying here. Then she goes into the room I'm in and gets on the computer, typing away. And I turn around and go, what are you doing? And
Right.
she's like, I'm working. And I'm like, go work. And by the way, it's a complete wireless laptop. She
Right.
can go in any room of our house and use it. So I'm like, get out of here. She doesn't leave for like 10 more minutes until I finally scream at her, get the F out of here, I'm trying to sleep. So she finally gets up and leaves. Then,
Wait, but can I ask you something? Before that, because what are your symptoms? Because I can diagnose you.
I have barfing,
Yes.
diarrhea, fever, and just overall body ache.
So did she go to the store and get you some Kaopectate?
She never asked me what was wrong with me, ever.
She didn't?
Never once asked me.
Well,
And
she asked you at the beginning, are you sick, right? You said that.
Yeah, like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, I'm really sick. And
she didn't
that
ask
was
if
it.
you needed
No.
anything.
Or what are you? But that's fine. If she just left me alone, I'd have been cool. I could have slept in the back and just...
Aren't you supposed to,
Yeah.
as a wife, go, do you need anything, even though we're hoping you say no?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then she proceeds to... I'm laying in bed, knocked out, and I hear the baby into a tirade scream for 5 minutes. And I'm like, oh, my God, she must not... Like, she left. She left the baby here and left, and I'm asleep in the back. So I get up,
Did she?
and I go in there. She's at the other end of the house on the phone talking to her girlfriend. And I go, are you effing kidding me?
You said F?
Yes. I'm like, can you take care of the baby? I'm asleep in the back room.
Now, you
She's like-
yelled this, right?
Oh, yes, I screamed it at the top of my lungs.
Did anybody see Dr. Phil yesterday? Perhaps you'd like to call, because I don't want to be the bad guy here, and tell Stench what we saw yesterday,
About bad
Dude.
girls? Wasn't it yesterday, bad girls?
how they become these little horrible children.
Oh, dude, the kid was just being a kid. It's just the fact that she was choosing not to take care of her at the time, thinking I would get up and do it when I was deathly ill in the bed. I was like covered up, shaking. You know, when you get the
That's-
fever and you're cold and you got the shakes.
See, that's where my wife won't let me near the baby when I'm sick. When I was just sick and had the same thing
Well,
Stench
she
had a
had
few
no
weeks
idea of this
Yeah.
because she never asked.
Okay, so are you in a good mood or a bad mood?
No, I'm fine today. Feel a little better. Don't have the shake so bad. I'm good.
If anybody saw the Dr. Phil, 1-800-STAR-987. So you yelled out to your wife, are you effing kidding me?
Yeah, are you effing kidding me? Take care of the baby. What are you doing? She's like, is it going to kill you to get up and do something? Oh. And that's when if it would have been too much effort to walk to the other side of the house to kill her, I would have done it.
Could
But I
you
was
get
tired.
up and do something?
Yeah.
Oh.
I was so pissed off at her yesterday.
Okay, by the way, you get that one.
Yeah, I'd say he was in the right on this one.
And then, like, by the way, she comes in to wake me up. Then finally she realizes, like, hey, he's really sick at the point that she's me. Only time I get up is to run to the bathroom and then to come back and go back to bed for hours. So she realizes that at this point he's really sick. So she goes and gets like soup, but wakes me up and is like, here, I have soup for you.
Well, that was sweet.
That was that was about
But you're mad 'cause
8
she woke
o'clock
you
at
up.
night. That was about 8 or
Right.
9 o'clock last night.
That was nice.
when she finally came around. This all started at 11.
But that was nice.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Too little too late. She knew I was going to kill her.
Okay, the Happy Show will be right back.
Call Jamie, Jack, and Stench now.
It's true.
That's hysterical.
Oh, holy hell. Okay, so here is the story. Actually,
We have drama today.
well, I put this on my things to talk about right here. And I put it down as male babies.
Oh.
It says male babies, Stench is sick, right here. Right here at 6:08. I put it down right here. Talk about it right here. Male babies, Stench is sick, 6:08. I talked about it right here. Anyway, I'm just being a smartass. Because our boss thinks that we don't know what we're talking about ever. So right here, I know what I'm talking about. Male babies.
Yeah, 608 you do.
Not male as in gender.
Right.
I mean,
Man babies.
man babies, right. Does that make sense? I mean, I guess it's not babies as in, wait, that's what I meant. I'm dyslexic. Not babies as in, tiny children that you have that are male.
Right.
I'm talking about Stench. There we go. That defines what male babies is.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Okay. Well, you know what, Jack? People are stupid. And you just can't assume they understand what I'm saying. So I told Stench yesterday, I go, it is funny to me that you're this big burly man and you get so whiny, gripey, bitchy. But I have to say, after hearing the story with his wife, I'm kind of disappointed in her ability to be Nurse Betty.
Oh, she's Nurse Nothing. Nurse Nothing. You know what my biggest fear is with her? If something ever happens to the baby, like let's say a gaping head wound, she's gonna flip out. Already, like if the baby barfs,
Right?
she screams, and then it freaks the baby out, and then the baby scares the baby, and then the baby cries.
Right.
So if anything bad happens, she flips out.
But
my
some
wife.
people say that motherly instinct will kick in and all of a sudden...
Yeah, I'm yet to see
I mean,
that.
because Jack was Mr. Squeamish, blood, barf, puke, whatever. It always makes him puke. But his baby, he has no problem. Like his, what do you call it? Parental something or another kicks in.
But he doesn't lose his mind.
I know
though.
what Stench is talking about because he's right. My wife does the same thing. Now, my kid fell down at the park and cut her lip, and I don't do well with blood, but I dealt with it. I freaked out a little. I mean, but I didn't panic. I put pressure on it. I got the bleeding to stop. Luckily, I knew I was across the street from urgent care, so if it really was bad, I was going to take care of it. But my wife the other day, she was wearing heels and getting out of the car holding the baby, and she fell in the curb and almost fell in the baby, but. The baby was scared.
Everybody falls with their baby at least once.
Right.
Yeah.
But she didn't land on the baby. She pushed, the baby was kind of to the side, and the baby started crying because she was scared. My wife started freaking out. I'm like, just calm down. Let's make sure she's hurt because my wife freaking out scared the baby even more.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It would be.
It was one of those things. I know what Stench is talking about, where the reaction to the situation scares the kid more than the actual situation.
Just like when you're, and I don't have children, but, when you see them collide or crash, you're like, uh-oh, because you know that if you run over there going, oh, my God, so you always do, you like, wench, like, oh.
You do the let's be calm and wait and see how the baby
Right,
reacts.
exactly. So you're like, oh, my God, I know that hurts so bad, but then you go, uh-oh.
Right.
They have a big old bruise on their head, and you're like, hey, you're fine.
I know. Remember when Dante fell down?
Oh, man.
Holy
He
hell.
dove down.
He dove down, and so I see him eat it, and I'm like, I know he's going to just bust out crying, and I'm like, oh!
Yeah. That was fun.
Yay! I'm like, come here, get a drink, and I put ice right on his head. Because his mom was having cocktails, and didn't notice what happened.
Dude, he ate it so hard. That kid was wild.
And remember that big bulging egg?
He had like an egg on his forehead. He's running around, just wild man.
Oh, anyway. So, yeah, I see that part. But here's the thing that worries me, according to Dr. Phil. You guys all screaming causes psycho babies.
That's cool.
No, you should see the Dr. Phil. I saved it. I wish I could send it on TiVo
Well, it's
to you.
like, what else can you do? That's all we're really limited to as men. Like
No.
a girl can come up and just smack you in the head. We do that, we're going to prison.
Right,
So
but you can
we
talk-
can't do any of that stuff.
You can talk calmly to us and set down your wife and hold her hand
Oh no, last
and
night.
push back her hair over her ear and say,
Oh,
precious sweetie, pooksy wooksy, I love you
I'm gonna
so
rip
much.
her so
Let me-
hard.
Wait,
right
I'm giving
today.
you an example.
Right.
I love you so much.
Your example sucks.
And it would be so kind and generous of you if you tried to take care of me a little bit. And also that screaming, precious, adorable child that we created together one night in the passions of love. If you could maybe perhaps take care of that child that's crying so I could get some shut-eye. So later on in the evening, I could be a better father, lover, and friend.
I never got out of bed till 11 o'clock last night.
He doesn't even
No,
recognize what I'm saying.
I heard what
There's
you
no
said,
way I
but
can say that
there's
because
no
I was
way
so
that
mad.
would work.
There's no way I can control my anger to the point of like not killing someone, pumping my brakes, maybe not going totally off, but I can't control my anger to where I can't yell. When
Especially since he was right and he was really mad.
I
mean, like,
know.
sick
But do
and
you
I'm a-
yell?
I'm
no,
a
I'm a
whiny
calm
bitch.
talker, but that
See?
just makes her more upset, and then she yells more, and then so it doesn't.
But you
really...
can't yell in front of your kids. You should
No, I
see
know.
yesterday's show.
I was sick and worse than normal.
But your kid hears that screaming, and then the kid's gonna start screaming.
You know what I'm going to do in my
That'd be
house?
hot.
They're a
We're just
parrot.
going to scream everything we do. Then she'll be used to it. I'll be like, even good stuff. I love you. Where's the milk? That way, no. If we are fighting, the kid will never be able to tell the
You
difference.
should see this 4-year-old. All it does is just scream at a high-pitched noise
my God.
for hours, and they put it in timeout. It crawls out, and then it's like, I hate you, and then they grab it and they spank the baby, like all of us would get a hold of it, and it's like, that didn't hurt.
Oh.
And the lady's like, she's Satan. Mate expectations. For those of you that hung up, call back, please. There were some great phone calls about people that also were in these same kind of fights. Stench was sick yesterday. The wifey just, she just really didn't care. That's all.
Didn't care at all.
Didn't care at all, and he got very angry, and then finally the baby was screaming, and then he came out of the room screaming, "Are you effing kidding me? Get the baby." And then she said, you could at least do something today?
She said, "Can you just do one effing thing today?"
Yeah. And
And my answer was no.
then Jack and Stench were still bitching about it off the air. And I said, they go, "Oh, it's all about the woman, blah, blah," all this crap. I said, well, that's funny because when I was sick, it was really not about me at all. And I feel like, and I'm not perfect, and I'm not saying because I'm sucky as a maid. But I will say that's one thing I really like to do is if somebody's sick or whatever is make them feel better and take care of them and do all that,
Nurture.
stuff. I mean, I remember when like FP was sick and I knew that he didn't want to be seen or anything like that because when you're really, really sick. Right. And I made him this huge big cooler of like orange juice with ice and, all this stuff and bought every cold remedy there was and all that stuff and put it in front of his door and just said, and called him and said, "I left stuff in front of your door. Get it if you can get up," because, nobody wants to like socialize. I feel like I'm a good caretaker.
See, every time my wife's sick, I end up going to the store, buying 4 or 5 different kinds of freaking medicine. I want to give her stuff, but I don't want to be bothered with her either, to tell you the truth. So I want her to have like juice, water, whatever, and I'll get it all and leave it in there. But then I just want to stay the hell away from her. I don't want to go in there and like, mix it for her and make sure she takes her medicine. It's like, here's all your stuff. Take care of yourself. Bye.
I think girls are good caretakers. I remember Yodi, my girlfriend, the same thing with me. I was really sick, and she knew too. I didn't want to see anybody. It was awesome. She just called. I didn't even know she drove all the way from San Dimas. She's like, "Just look outside of your door. I know you're really sick." She had ice cream and yogurt and orange juice and all this stuff outside me. It was awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool.
but I think women are good caretakers. I just think she doesn't like you.
I think, you know what it is? My wife would be great with the baby as far as if the baby's sick, like taking care of her and that kind of stuff, unless something bad happens and she freaks out.
But you get into such a bitchy baby mode that you're not
I just
worth
want to
taking
be.
care of.
I just want to be left alone. Honestly,
you're
just
mean.
stay away from me. Just stay
Right.
the hell
That's,
away from
That's
me.
why nobody takes care of you, because you're mean.
But dude, why are you gonna walk in with someone's sick and like laying in bed shaking from a fever, and you're gonna walk in and get on the computer like right
because
next
you're
to him?
mean and you're not worthy
like,
of like
why are you
having
doing that?
any sympathy for.
No, because I get mean because she's stupid.
No, she would probably bother, but she knows that you're just gonna scream at her and get all bitchy.
She had no idea. She never even asked me what the hell was wrong. She had no clue what the hell was the matter with me.
You do that whole thing. You did it yesterday with the whole. You do that eye thing like there's a big, I don't know, fork in the middle of your forehead, and
Dude,
you do.
I was so sick
I know you were
yesterday,
sick. I
sicker than
understand.
I've been in years.
I told you go home. I know. I mean that's the only like love I can offer. Go home.
Go home, get out of here. You're
like
sick.
with Jack, I'm
Right.
like go home,
Yeah.
and it's supposed to be loving, but
Right. No, I took it as
But
loving.
I think you're such a bitch that she doesn't want to take care of you.
Because you're stupid. Not you're stupid, but she's stupid. Do you know what I
That's
mean?
okay, I've been stupid.
In general, like She didn't ask any. She didn't ask me any questions. She's just freaking rude.
I think
She's
she
the
should
most
have
rude person I
invested.
freaking know.
Invested a little more
I'm
investigation.
so
into
gonna
this,
rip
you
her
know?
head off when I get home today. You have no idea the fight that we are in store for when I get my hands on my wife.
And what's the fight going to be
Feeling better.
about?
And what a rude a-hole she is. And it's like,
Because you're mean.
no, I'm mean because you're a rude a-hole. She never asked. Okay, first of all, I don't want to be taken care of.
See, there. Wait, there's the
If
statement.
you would have left me alone, we wouldn't have a problem. If she had left me alone yesterday and let me just sit in the back and take care of myself, which I was doing, we would have been fine.
But you just said
But
she
she
didn't
came
even
in and-
ask you.
she
So
came
which
in
is
and
it?
woke
You
me
want her
up.
to ask you, or you want her to leave you alone?
She came in and woke me up to get on the computer, which was just moronic, in my opinion. If someone's
had to
sick,
work.
she can work in any room of our house. We have Wi-Fi.
that's right.
All she had to do was go sit on the couch in the other room. Why she
So
didn't do right next to me? I don't know.
Technology.
I
I know.
have beta. I don't have
I
an
have dial-up.
iPod. I
Yeah.
still have dial-up.
No Wi-Fi, but most people can walk around their house with the computer. And you got to give them the screaming baby. She should have been all over.
She was on the phone with her
phone.
girlfriend.
Get off the phone.
She's
That
probably
always.
on the phone with a client making money for you to
No,
spend.
she was talking to her stupid girlfriend, yakking.
Made
Making money
expectations.
for you to spend. She won't let him spend her money.
I see y'all calling back. We really appreciate it. We'll take your calls when we come back. Be born weighing less than a soda can. Less than a soda can. That's how much the baby weighed. Believed to be the smallest baby ever to survive. Has celebrated her first birthday.
Wow.
In Illinois, she weighed 8.6 ounces
That's small.
at birth and was less than 10 inches long. So, like this?
Yeah.
Like that? Oh, she's a year old now, and she now weighs 13 pounds and 24 inches tall. So there you go.
Man.
Happy ending. See, there's a
That's
line.
cool.
That's something you should be thankful
That's
for.
a feel-good story. of
Right
the day.
there. I thought we'd try to throw in some feel good in the middle of mate expectations. By the way, mate expectations is what we're talking about.
Woo!
Such drama. Jack, can you? I just want to stay out of it. Can you play first calls of the day?
Oh, yeah,
I'm
definitely.
very angry over it.
Jamie, Jack, and Stench. First call of the day. Call of the day.
Summer has come and passed.
Stench is a baby ass.
Wake me up when
He is a moaner too. All the leaves are brown, and the sky is gray. I've been for a walk on a winter's day. Said it really loud and said it on the air.
They're on the radio.
Whoa, on the radio. Whoa, on the radio. Radio. Ding. Sorry. All right, so it's drama, and here's the only thing I'd like to say before I tell y'all, take your calls. This might be a pattern with the Stench Meister. Why don't you tell them what you did with your ex-wife?
Oh, she was worse.
We'll tell them what happened.
Okay, one time I got the same thing that I have now, which is like a stomach flu. But it got so bad I ended up in emergency. Mm-hmm. And before I ended up in emergency, she was attempting to like take care of me. Mm-hmm. I remember just looking at her. Again, at this point, I got to the point where I thought I was gonna die.
Right.
Before I went. I mean, for me to go to emergency is a big deal. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna die. I'm dying. I have to go. And I remember looking at her going, look, I don't want to look at you. I don't want to see you. Just call my effing mom. I want my mom.
Wow.
Yeah, it might be a pattern.
And then when I talked to my mom, my
Big
mom's like,
baby.
you might need to go to emergency. And I went to emergency and I was fine.
Stephanie. That's always funny. Stephanie, hi.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, we're good. Yeah, you're the first call of the day. Yay. What that entails, I have no idea, but
Yeah.
congratulations.
Good for you.
Thanks. Well, I'm sorry to be the first caller of the day and be the negative caller of the day, but I just don't understand why Stench is with his wife. I mean, why even be married to her when every day, well, maybe not every day, but almost every day of the week you say that you hate her or
I've never said I hate her. I've never said I hate her. You've never
I
heard that
think
on
you
there.
have said hate.
I think you
never said
have.
I hate
You
her.
honestly,
I think
you
you
do.
just did today.
I mean, but like, yeah, you're like, I hate her. But you don't
Yeah.
say it in like,
Yeah. I've never
okay,
said
but
I
you have
hate
to
her.
understand how people hear it.
Yeah.
Because they hear the word hate, or I want to club her, or I
'Cause
want to
know
strangle
'cause
her,
know
or I want to kill her.
I hated my ex-wife.
No,
I hated her with a passion.
But see, here's the thing, Stephanie.
Yeah.
He's not gonna stab her. He's not gonna choke her. He's not gonna whatever he said.
All those things.
all those
Right.
things. I think he's saying hate as in tongue in cheek. He's not saying it like I hate you, like where he really means it.
Right.
It's like I think he hates the situation.
Yeah, I understand that, but if I heard my husband say that, I wouldn't be married to him. I mean, I deserve a lot better than that, and I think his wife deserves a lot better than that. Than to be
After
treated
hearing that
like
story, she deserves a lot better than that?
Yeah.
Yesterday?
I mean, maybe if you treated her nice and not said every day
That's
that
where
pisses you
I'm
off or
going with
hated
this.
her, then maybe she would
I
take a
don't
little
say
more
I hate her
effort.
on a normal basis. And honestly, if she'd left me alone yesterday, I'd have been fine. I wouldn't be pissed at her.
But that didn't make sense because you said she didn't even ask about me, and so we're confused
Yeah.
as women as what you want.
Because I know if she's sick, I'll ask about her and I will get her stuff and bring it to her and try to make her feel better. She doesn't, fine, I'll take care of myself. But don't bother me. In the middle of freaking being sick. Like, don't come in there and wake me up with a computer. Don't come in there and
I think I
let
can-
the baby cry next to my bed.
What Stephanie and I together as one are saying is perhaps you don't deserve the tender, loving care from a woman that you think you do because of the way that perhaps you talk to her.
I don't want the
Exactly.
tender loving care. I'm fine without it. I just don't want to be bothered. If you're not giving tender
We're
loving
just
care, I
saying
don't want to be bothered by
Maybe use a loving, tender voice.
I think
you.
what
Who uses the tender voice when they're sick and irritable?
Big and Angry is trying to say is that he wishes she would have asked so she would have known to leave him alone. She didn't even care enough to ask so she would know to leave him alone.
Well, maybe
Not
the
that
way
he
he-
wanted to be babied, but she didn't even care enough to ask to find out if he was that sick to be left alone.
She has no
What,
idea what's
Stephanie?
wrong with me.
I was just going to say maybe the reason he treats her when he treats her the way she does, maybe she does that on purpose just to irritate you because that's the reaction she's going to get from you. It's
No,
only
she's
negative
stupid.
and irritation.
She does it because she's stupid.
But he doesn't hate her, so that's the good news. Okay, Stephanie, hold on. She's just stupid, but he doesn't hate her. Hip hip
She
hooray!
doesn't know better.
Yeah.
Yeah, that great, Steph?
Yeah.
Hold on. See, that was good news. Happy little show today.
Happy.
Yes, it is. Our little Stenchy is sick today. He's not feeling so swell. And then the wifey pissed him off. So it's a double header for the Stenchy.
Pissed.
What did you call him, big and angry?
Yeah, big and angry, like
Big
big,
and
and
angry.
tasty, but different.
Actually, I was going with big and rich.
Oh, okay. I was
Oh.
going McDonald's because he's Stench.
I like it. I like it. That's probably more appropriate. So thank you very much for that, Jack. All right. So we're talking about mate expectations
Right,
this morning. And I think here's the bottom line. And not to get on you, not to get on her, because I don't know the whole story. But I just don't think you should be so verbally abusive to her.
You're high.
No,
She should
not
be a
for
little-
2 weeks.
She should be a little smarter.
That
Honest to God. And to be as sick as I was yesterday, like if I had a cold or something,
Mm-hmm.
I could see not being fired up like I was yesterday.
Right.
But I mean, I was really, really sick yesterday.
I think that you use the F word so much that it's just you use it like an and or a but or a whatever. But maybe, just maybe, you could just say nice words or just
You don't
ask
think
nice
words.
questions.
When you're sick and out of it and you're puking and you're running out of both ends, you're not thinking of nice words when someone's
I
bothering
was
you.
just thinking that.
I mean, everyone needs to think about that because I would like to see a person that's in a good mood when they're sick. I don't know any.
Sometimes I skip when I'm sick.
that's what I thought.
And I do good for others when I'm sick, and I run a marathon. Man, I'm amazing. Here's Bonnie. Hi, Bonnie.
Hi.
Hi.
First of all, I have to say I love your guys' show. I listen to it every morning.
Thank you,
thank
Bonnie.
you.
We really appreciate it.
And I have to say I agree with Stench. When my boyfriend's sick, he wants to be left alone. I just make sure that he has what he needs, and that's it.
That's perfect.
And he never gets mad because I just bring him in what he needs, and I leave him alone. If he's in the living room sleeping, I don't turn the TV on. I don't bug him because when I'm sick, I don't want to be bugged either.
Right, I got that part. I think she failed on the taking care of him, but I think something has happened along life's path as to why she doesn't.
Perhaps. I know that I do hear a lot about how he talks about his wife, and I hope she doesn't listen to your radio station in the morning, because if she does, I'd probably be a little disturbed too, but maybe she really
She
annoys
listens all
him
the
too,
time.
I'm sorry, what, Bonnie?
Maybe she annoys him too. I don't know.
No. Not our Stench.
Sometimes they have, some of my friends have like a love-hate relationship,
Yeah,
You
maybe
never
you're one
know.
of those. I call it passion.
I call it don't be stupid.
No, but maybe you guys have that love, like total, they get under your skin, but then you just love them to death one minute and then you hate them the next.
Yeah, no.
Exactly.
I don't hate her hardly ever. I hated her yesterday. I'll give you that. I hated the fact that she was bothering me while I was just feeling like
Now,
crap.
see, Stephanie's going to flip out. You just said I hated her yesterday because you said you
But
never say it.
I hated that. I did not like that at all, and I'm still really pissed off about what she did yesterday. But
don't take it home today. Just let it
I'm bringing
go.
it home today because I'm better
God.
today. Now I can fight.
So,
Yesterday I could only get up and scream a couple things, and I had to go back and lay down and barf.
okay, so take us through what you're gonna go. So now you're all riled up. You're gonna go home and do what?
And let her know what a tremendous disappointment she was to me yesterday.
See, that's better.
What a major letdown she was to me yesterday.
Perfect. There's no F-bombs. That will make her
You
feel
have to
guilty.
be nice about it.
Because let me tell you, I tried to tell this to Stench before. When you just say it like a regular guy, like not even a regular guy, but just a guy without anger. When you say you let me down, you disappointed me, she'll feel so guilty. But when you scream it at her, she doesn't hear it. She just goes into defense mode and just will start screaming back.
In 10 years of being with her, yesterday is the most disappointing day I've ever had.
Perfect.
with her. Ever.
Perfect. Because that makes me sad for you.
Yes.
But don't you guys agree that's a
Yes.
better way to communicate that? Disappointed, let down.
Well, then she's going to say something stupid, and then I'm just going to...
No, you're not.
And she's going to escalate the argument, and I won't lose a verbal sparring.
No. Oh, see, that's where you lose everything because then nobody hears you anymore.
The verbal,
You
you,
should
know
probably
the
just-
verbal sparring. You're not going to lose
And
one of
I
those.
know that people don't hear you anymore because they're like, heard it.
Right.
And then they scream back and nobody gets the point. But when you do that calm thing because it's not like you, and if you break the pattern, the cycle thing of that screaming and just go, oh my God, you really let me down and just walk away, I think that'd rip my heart out.
Whoa.
Isn't that a good
Yeah.
one, Bonnie?
Yeah, and you have to. I would bring up how you take care of her. You know, like usually when my boyfriend's like, "Well, I would do it for you," and then it makes me feel bad because I don't do it for him.
But
Yeah.
I'm not the doting. Don't get me wrong. I'm not standing over her, taking her temperature, rubbing her head with a cloth. I'm not the mothering type, but I will get her medicine and ask her if she needs anything and bring it to her and put it there, and then I'll leave her alone. I won't go
That's
out of
the
my way to
easiest way to
bother
do
her.
it because
I would
men
too.
are the worst when they're sick. They don't want to be bothered because they're grumpy. So I know better to leave them alone.
See,
but at least I'll ask what they need.
I would just break the cycle. Just break it. Just try something new, Stench. That's all I'm saying. Just try something new. Just the calm voice. I think that would rip my heart out because you're such a yeller and angry, and she expects you to come in with your fist a flying. And instead of you come in the beaten puppy, that would be a nice new side.
It's-
You take a little bit of Jack home with you.
It's never going to happen.
Wendy, hi.
Hey, you rule!
we rule.
Oh, man. Hey, listen, there's a book I'm planning to go get today because I got a new boyfriend and I don't want to F it up. But I want to get an extra copy for Stench's wife. It's called The Proper Care and Feeding of Husbands. Why'd you say that, James?
Well, I'm just thinking, do you really need this book with a new boyfriend?
Yeah, if you're starting out in the self-help book,
Yeah.
you know, then you're
Yeah,
in
because
trouble.
I've just, I'm 38. I've never been married, and I've got this great guy, and he's awesome to me. And I want to take care of him. I want to do the right thing. I don't want to be this bitchy little girlfriend that thinks it's all about me, and he has to take care of me. I think a lot of times people get into relationships, and girls expect the guy to constantly do everything for them, and they don't think about what they can do for him. You know?
Yeah, I got you. So the book, it just what?
But realizing that is half the battle, so I don't think you need the book.
Well, what do
Just,
you?
know-
Here's
Really?
Jack's
Well, thank you,
theory
Jack.
on what's your theory on self-help books and workbooks?
Oh, yeah. I ended my career with workbooks in the 4th grade. I'm an adult now. I don't ever want to do a workbook again.
Jack doesn't need one. He's got it together.
No
they
workbooks,
they- Dr. Phil, all those guys always want to throw a workbook at me. I don't want to get out my number 2 pencil and scribble in answers. I don't want to get a percentage right. I
It
don't
ended
want
in
a
the
workbook.
4th grade. I love that. I always think about that every time I see a workbook or Dr. Phil saying, and I'm throwing the workbook. I'm like, Jack said that ended in the 4th grade.
Exactly. You pull it out of that little desk where the chair's attached. That was the last time I wanted to see that thing.
Well, this isn't a workbook. It's just a regular book. Because I don't do workbooks either. Somebody
Yeah.
gave me one of the Dr. Phil books, and I don't get into that. But if I picked up an extra copy and sent it over to the station, would you throw it in the round file, or would you actually take it home and give it to the wife?
I don't know.
That's
Well,
that's a
here's
no.
how I know. She knows nothing about proper feeding and care of husbands because she doesn't do it ever. No, she
Right.
does. She doesn't cook or feed or any of that.
Dude.
But she doesn't care. And we've gotten by this.
Why'd you
we've
marry
gotten-
her? She did something right.
We've gotten through this far because I'm the one that feeds.
Tell me what you like about her.
I'm the feeder and
What
the
do you
care.
like about her? Why
I'm the
did you
one
marry
that
her?
prepares the food and does all
Why'd
that
you
stuff.
marry her?
We actually
I asked you why'd you
we
marry
actually
her?
are best friends outside of before we ever started dating.
What do you like about her?
She has nice hair.
Yeah.
What do you like
No,
about her?
and we don't.
How come you can't answer my question?
Because I take care of that stuff at home, so she's not the typical wife in that sense.
How come you can't answer my question?
Right now, I don't like a lot about her. I'm just seriously pissed. And for you to look at me and ask me to say something nice about someone I'm really pissed off about, I don't feel like playing that game.
You have to like something about her. Then why did you marry her?
I told you, I don't feel like saying anything nice about her right now.
There's
I'm
got to be
seriously pissed at her.
You married her because why? If she's not a taker care of, you said she doesn't feed, she doesn't do any of that. What did she do?
She doesn't do any of that. I do that.
What? She just puts out. That's why you married her?
No, I don't hardly do that either.
You're not gonna break him.
Do you have? I'm not trying to break him, Jack. I don't care to break him. I'm just saying.
Get him to say something nice.
There's got to be a reason why you married him. You got to find that.
Right.
I mean, he's sitting there slamming her and saying.
I agree with you, but this is Stench.
Saying she doesn't feed anything. She doesn't do. Did you just marry because you just needed to?
No, I didn't need to get married. I'd been that route.
So
I had a kid.
You married her because
I didn't need a kid.
She was your best friend.
We were best friends before.
Stop taking the pen out of your goddamn mouth.
And everything's been fine. And she does a lot of things that I like, but I'm not going to talk about those right now.
You did it!
I'm pissed.
Yeah, there is a God.
Okay, there was a little girl in Laguna Niguel in her family condo last night. The grandmother went to check on the little girl in the middle of the night and just found blood everywhere. There was blood all over the place. She called 911. They responded, and then there was an off-duty policeman that lived in the condo complex too, and he saw a suspicious guy running from that area.
Right.
So they
just gave me
they
chills.
called and they've detained that guy. They're calling him a person of interest, and the little girl died. So it looks like as if this person had came into her room and cut her up.
In her bed?
Yeah.
And they found
in her bedroom.
Oh my God.
That's what it looks like. That's what they're leading you to believe with the news story as it is right now. But
holy hell.
Laguna Niguel, crazy.
All right. The thing is that the show just keeps getting happier, friends. But this will make Jack happy. Jack's belief is that self-help books and workbooks.
Specifically the workbook. I'm not a big fan of self-help books, but the workbooks put me over the edge.
You know, I don't think I've read an entire self-help book ever.
Yeah, I know.
Ever. I have them, and especially when everything was so turned upside down in my life with FP. People would send me all these workbooks and self-help books, and I'd just read a chapter, the one that pertained to I'm right, he's wrong.
Right.
You know?
I'll do that part of the workbook.
Yeah, exactly. I'd turn to, it's like, it's not your fault. And I'd be like, yeah. And it'd say, move on. You don't need the loser. You're a person that's worthy of being loved and all that stuff. I'm like, yeah. And then I'd put it down. That would just be my little mantra. But I don't know of anybody that's actually gone through one, except for Jack. I want you to meet Rachel. Hi, Rachel.
Hi.
Hi.
All
I
right.
love you guys. You guys rule.
We rule. Thank you. What happened?
Okay, I recommended that book, The Proper Care and Feeding of Husbands, to my brother because he keeps talking about these problems he's having with his fiance. So my brother takes it upon himself to go get this book and slip it onto his fiance's desk. And she finds it, and she's like, what's this? And she starts asking all her coworkers, and they're like, oh, yeah, Hans came in. He wanted to drop this off for you. And she's like, what? I'm not going to be some barefoot and pregnant wife feeding my husband and standing in the kitchen. And she got so upset. She totally threw the book away. She screamed at my brother. They started fighting even worse than they were fighting before he gave her this book.
Yep.
So it's not a good idea.
Yeah,
for
those
the man
self-help
to-
books and workbooks can be really taken with offense.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, especially with a man.
Like if I gave Stench the angry fat guy's journal to living,
I'd hit her with it.
he'd say, hey, I'm the author. And if I gave Jack the, hey, your wife's going to leave you as soon as she gets a major role in a movie.
Boy, that'd be a short book, though.
Yeah, well, there'd be,
There'd be a
I
lot
do
of
little
chapters.
spin-offs,
Okay.
of the depression that's to follow, things like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, Rachel, that self-help books are not good.
Yeah.
Right. Well, especially when the book's called The Proper Care and Feeding of Husbands, and the
Yeah.
husband gives the wife this book like, hey, here's how you need to treat me. That just doesn't go over very well.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you, Rochelle. Thank you for your phone call. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Okay, bye. Here is Barbara. Hi, Barbara.
Hi. I just wanted to comment. This has nothing to do with your book bit right now, but just your comment after the 11-year-old girl story. I know you were being sarcastic, but that just came off really insensitive.
What did I say? That this show just keeps getting sadder?
happier, and then you
Well,
laugh.
that was
No.
sarcasm.
What I did was I said, God, the show just keeps getting sadder. And then I said, on a happy note, Jack, I have a phone call for you.
Right.
Okay, well, I totally
Because I
misread
just
that.
said, if you missed it, I also said, Stench, the story's giving me goosebumps.
Okay, well, I turned it off after the happier bit, and then you laughed.
Barbara,
I
do
didn't
you
hear the
really
rest.
think that we were happy that girl got
No, absolutely not.
attacked in her bed?
Absolutely not.
Okay, here's
So-
how
I had to
here's
make
how
it-
I remember it. Okay, we'll play paper telephone. Here's how I remember it. I said, Stench, what's the breaking news? He was telling it, and I said, oh my God, she was in her bed, and
Right.
he said, yes. I said, you're giving me goosebumps. That's
Right.
how it went. Now,
Right.
I need to do, Barbara, a transition from this depressing, horrible, awful story
Right.
back to our show. So,
Right.
I have a couple options. I can go, okay, now back to the show, or I can go, well, the show just keeps getting sadder, which at that moment, we were pretty much at the bottom of the barrel. You don't go any lower than a child that's killed.
Right.
I mean, that's depressing as hell, and now where do you go? So I said, but Jack, at least I do have a happy call for you.
Okay, well, I missed all of that. I just got the laugh after your comment, and
No, a happy
That really
call for
bugged me.
you. Happy call for you. Laugh, I think, is how it went. Or maybe it went, it can't get any sadder. Ha ha.
Right.
Maybe I
It
did
was-
go, oh my God, it can't get any sadder than this. Ha.
It
You
was
know.
sarcasm, and because
Right.
we've been on such a dark note today, Barbara.
Yeah, no
So
kidding.
I don't know why you
And
would...
see, I just laughed and said, yeah,
and it
like that.
actually makes me mad that you would even think that was being insensitive. I mean, that we were trying to be
Oh,
insensitive
you made
about
Jack
that.
mad, and he doesn't have
Jack
any
doesn't
emotions.
get mad. I'm the mad one.
Because
You've
that's
gone crazy.
ridiculous.
Barbara, look what you've done. You've sent Jack over the edge. And you
No,
were
not
even,
at all.
You
Not
were,
at all.
You were
No, you
pointing
have.
it at me. So now you know.
Because it's ridiculous to even insinuate that.
Well, she just heard what she
Wanted
heard.
to hear. Because she wanted to be mad about something.
Are you,
well,
Barbara?
no,
you in a
it-
bad
it
mood?
does- I'm sorry, no, not at all. I
Our
just
show
heard
do that
that.
to you.
That was the first that I heard of this
Barbara,
story.
just overall, do you not care for me so much? Because sometimes
no,
that
no,
happens.
not at all. I love listening to you every morning faithfully. And so when you said that, I was like, that's so out of character for you.
All right,
I mean,
wait, hold
I
on.
took
People
the
are
sarcasm.
wait. People are agreeing with you. So if I'm wrong, I want to be corrected. Christy, tell me what happened.
Okay, you did say the show just keeps getting happier. But, Jamie, I am so your
thought I
people
said
that I
sadder.
It
understood
doesn't matter. It was sarcasm.
your sarcasm
Right,
in it.
right. But
I
I just
got
needed,
it.
I just needed to say I did get the sarcasm, but I just
What
needed
if
to
she
say
had
that
said,
was
"Oh,
not
this is
cool.
the feel-good show of the
it's not-
century"? You
it-
would still know that's sarcasm.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
she
I didn't. You know what? Honestly, I didn't mean to say happier. I meant to say sadder.
Okay, well,
I understand how she meant it. So, this
I
girl
did
that
too, but I mean, if you're able to call in and say, hey, that wasn't cool, why
Hey,
not?
Barbara, listen, that's why I love this show. No, she's okay. She's cool. Listen, I apologize. I really do. Because I meant to say, oh my God, the show just doesn't. Maybe I did say happier as a sarcasm.
Right,
yeah,
you
okay,
did,
I
as
see it now.
sarcasm.
I'm like, oh, the show just keeps getting happier. Like, opposite that.
Like, you can't get any sadder than that story.
Okay, but Barbara, I can see how you heard that, and I apologize.
That's cool. I just wanted to make it a point, okay?
No, and that's what this show is all about. Trust me, I'm not perfect, and if I slam people, I want to be able to be slammed. I'm all about that. It's like
Just know that, like I said, I am a faithful listener. I enjoy listening to you. I have nothing against you. I do love listening to you guys.
But I agree wholeheartedly with you. I mean, this is, it did give me goosebumps, but there's a point where you go, okay, now I have to transition and go over here. What do I do?
Right.
It's like a
Okay.
little bit of a pickle.
And it's a breaking
Right.
news story, and it's going to be bad. You're
It
gonna
is-
get
it
the
is
story.
bad.
It's
It's
going to
horrific.
develop out to be
Oh,
terrible.
Lordy. All right. Well, Barbara, I appreciate your comments. I really do. I mean,
Thanks for letting me on.
that's what this
Have a
show's
good
all
day.
about, sister.
Thank you, Debbie.
All right. Bye, you guys. Bye. All right. We worked it all out.
Yeah, you did work it out.
It's all good. Monica, are you good?
We should do a workbook on it.
On how I should be more sensitive? Once I was told I have to take a class on sensitivity.
Oh.
I didn't go.
Call Jamie.
Let me just go over a few things. We're going to hold mate expectations over to the left over here. We have somebody here that doesn't work here, but her name is Blamey Sugarman.
Yes.
She does not work here.
No,
she doesn't work here because that would be way like to Jimmy Kimmel, David Letterman.
Right.
But here's the thing, and they suck, Right. So, Blamey Sugarman is a brand new person. We've never spoken to her before in our lives. But here's what I know about her. She's an assistant to that Amy Sugarman that we're not allowed to have on the air because it's too inside.
Yes. Right.
So she's a cousin of her. So therefore keeping her outside of the radio ranch. Right? Because we're allowed to make characters that, as long as they don't work here or whatever it is.
Right.
Something like that. Yeah. I forgot all the rules. But anyway, Blamey is the cousin of Amy, and Amy Sugarman books all our guests. Now, here's what I know. Jenny McCarthy and friends were supposed to be here this morning for a big old jamming breakfast with all the listeners, and we're going to have breakfast, and we were giving them love sacks, that really cool big old stuffed beanbag that's awesome.
Right.
I love the love sacks.
We have a delicious breakfast catered by City Kitchen.
And a great, great breakfast by City Kitchen. Here's the thing. Some of the listeners have already arrived. The food is being prepared, but, it's not ready yet. Jenny McCarthy is not coming. So what we have is grown men and women sitting in big beanbags.
Eating bacon.
No, it's not ready yet. No. So what we have is, wait, hold on. What we have is grown men and women sitting in beanbags in a conference room.
Right.
There's no television. There's no radio because we don't pipe the radio through. There's no clock. There's nothing but them sitting. There's no food yet. There's no drink yet. It's just grown-ups sitting in beanbags in a conference room. So Blamey, the cousin of Amy Sugarman, because it's a whole thing, is here to tell us she talked to Amy Sugarman, the girl that's not allowed on the air. And here's what she said that Amy Sugarman said.
I don't know what to say.
What happened?
I was up till midnight dealing with this, by the way.
Well, what happened? We have grown-ups in beanbags with nothing.
I know. I want to go down and say, I'm so excited for our breakfast with Jenny McCarthy.
Right.
Except Jenny McCarthy is not coming.
Why isn't she here?
So I got a call at 6 o'clock. I'm just going to tell the truth.
Okay,
I got a call at 6 o'clock last night saying Jenny McCarthy has to get on a plane at 8 to go to New York.
Right.
And I said, no.
Wow.
I said, no.
I agree.
And then I said, no. I was yelling, like, in a firm tone. I wasn't screaming like being a lunatic, but I was very firm, and I said, get her on another flight.
Exactly. That's a good move. Seems like it makes a lot of sense. She knew her obligation as a superstar.
Right.
And she knew her obligation to this here radio ranch, that we have gone out of our way to have breakfast and love sacks and all that stuff for all these people.
That's what I said.
Right.
I said, I have 17 love sacks in the Star Lounge right now.
Right.
And then I pulled this. This has been my latest move.
Oh, good luck.
What do you want me to do?
I like that. You know why I like that? Is because then it makes them proactive.
Well, I use that on customer service people as well.
Right.
At the phone company, because my cell phone has been broken for 10 days.
I do that one, or I'll say, if this was you, honestly, if you were right here in my shoes, what would you do? And then it makes them come up with the solution.
Right.
Because you're in a... Yeah, this sucks, Amy. I mean, Lamey or Blamey.
Really bad. I said, it's not like this is just an interview that we need to reschedule, or someone was supposed to come in studio and then they got a tummy ache and they have to do a phoner.
Right.
This is a whole breakfast we've been talking about for a week. Like, this is an event.
This is totally an event.
Well, there's even more now.
What?
Because then we said, all right, well, if that's the deal, at least make her call in and explain what happened. And
apologize.
Yeah, so it's not like we made this crap up and have totally let all these people down. So
otherwise, we'll just start doing breakfasts with Tom Cruise.
So they're like,
Exactly.
So they're like, all right, no problem. She'll call at 7:15. We'll get her on the phone. So knowing she's on the phone at 7:15, and this is going to be a long, drawn-out process of her explaining what the hell happened, we dumped the song, which always gets us in trouble.
And
now she hasn't called.
Oh my God! So we have created the cardinal sins in our boss world. We have on Amy Sugarman, who he thinks is the devil.
Yeah.
Right.
For whatever reason.
Why do the Michaels hate me so much?
I have no idea. I think you're great, and I think that you've been on this show longer than he's had a job, so that blows my mind. I think he's an idiot, but whatever. And then number 2, we dropped the almighty song to talk to you, the devil.
Does he really
Because-
do they think I'm the devil?
Yes.
The bosses hate me.
and
Am
then-
I going to get a note from this, like a memo?
Probably. And what's funny is I made you go on the air. She's like, I can't go on the air. I'm like, my show.
Yeah, we have to explain what the hell's going on. And now Jenny McCarthy
show.
stiffed us.
Well, and then Blamey just said that she's supposed to be on a flight at 8 a.m. So for her to call at 7:15 means she's going through the airport security and stuff. She's probably not going to make this call.
Oh, man.
I don't totally buy the whole thing. I mean,
I want to know what airline she's on so I can call and see if she has a reservation.
Funny you say that because I'm no rookie at this. And I said, switch her to another flight. And they said, no other flights are available. And I'm thinking...
To New York?
Wednesday morning
this is
to
LA.
New York.
There's a million flights.
So I'm like,
I know our friends at JetBlue would get her right out there.
That's what I said. I said, funny, because I'm on United.com and there's plenty of flights available.
Awesome.
And then I said, I have to hang up for a moment because I'm now getting furious. So I needed to take a moment.
Because you're being lied to?
Well, I was just getting more and more furious. And everybody was around still. It was late, but I was furious. And then I had to take a moment. And then I called them back, and then they weren't answering. So I left 8 messages each one. I was like the crazy
ex-girlfriend,
like Jon Favreau calling that person 20 times.
Yeah,
like, we need to break up, and that's basically what I did.
So,
and then they called me at 5 o'clock this morning.
Here's the thing:
what do I do? There's 20 people down.
There's 20 adults. It's not like they're kids. There's 20 grown-ups that probably took the day off of work to come meet Jenny McCarthy. 20 adults took off their day or got a babysitter or did whatever to meet Jenny McCarthy, and now they're sitting in a blank, empty conference room in bean bags.
But they're going to have some delicious frittata.
That's great. I love that they're having a nice, warm meal, but... Still, the fact of the matter is there's a buttload of adults sitting in beanbags in the conference room with nothing. Well, love sacks, yeah. The ultimate beanbag, which is the love sack. They're not even beanbags. They're like crazy.
Because they're full of foam and stuff.
Yeah.
They're really comfortable.
Right.
And I'm going to get a memo for talking to you as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
and not only that, we're
going to
get in trouble because you're on the air and you're lame. And then we didn't play a beautiful selection
because we
of
thought Jenny was going to be on the phone, and now she stiffed us twice in one
I
day.
can't believe she stiffed us twice. I'm going to go. Do you want me to call them? I'll call them right now. But I have to go get the number.
Okay, you go get
Well, maybe that's really going to get me 2 memos. I better just go call them.
No. We want to do this because we're the reality show, and that's what we do. I mean, this is true life. This is real life.
I'm willing to get a memo for this.
Wow.
We're going to get the memo. I made you go on the air. You said no. All right. So I said, you got to explain this. This is crazy. We're supposed to have Jenny McCarthy on. We have adults in the conference room that love this show and now are completely disappointed in us. And it's all because of you. God, you do suck. I'm going to call the boss and agree with him.
No, I've worked for you guys for like over a years, and this has never happened.
I'm going to call that Morano and agree with
him.
Yeah, go, dude, I had no idea. She sucks. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a little break, and then when we come back, we're going to call the powers that be that have Jenny McCarthy somewhere. And notice, she was supposed to be with us about 13 minutes ago.
And she's getting on a plane at 8. They're boarding now.
And at 5, I said, you better, and I used the words, you better make sure Jenny calls at 7:15.
Or what? See, we don't have an or.
Yeah.
Yes, I have ors.
Email Jamie, Jack, and Stench.